This is exactly right.
If audiobooks are your thing, or if you've been meaning to listen to more of them, you should check out a podcast called Earsay, the Audible and iHeart Audiobook Club, hosted by Cal Penn.
Each episode spotlights standout audiobooks on Audible across all kinds of genres. Sci-fi, comedy, romance, thrillers, and more, with Cal talking to guests who help break down what makes each story worth listening to.
It's a fun, easy way to discover your next great audiobook.
Check out Earsay on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Goodbye.
The best time to think about home security is before you need it.
That's exactly why there's Simply Safe.
Traditional home security only alerts you after a break-in has already happened, and that's too late. Simply Safe is changing that.
Simply Safe's U.S.-based live agents identify threats on your property and help deter them so intruders never get to your house.
The system is customizable so you can build one that fits your home and your specific needs.
The 24/7 professional monitoring is effective and affordable and won't lock you into a long-term contract.
I think that's what's so scary for so many people is that long-term contract. And like, what if it turns out you don't like it or need it, but they don't have that because they know you'll like it and you'll know that you need it and feel so much safer when you have it. Like at this point in my life, I would never go without a security system on my house. I just feel safer with actually having Simply Safe around.
There's a whole staff at Simply Safe that's waiting to talk to you and help you out. Right now, you can get 50% off your new system by visiting simplysafe.com/MFM.
That's half off at simplysafe.com/MFM.
There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Goodbye. While the world watches the stars at the FIFA World Cup, Hyundai has its eyes on the next generation of talent.
The future soccer stars who are already turning heads at age 14.
Because next doesn't wait for an invitation.
And Hyundai doesn't either.
Hyundai has always moved the future within reach.
Hyundai did it by making advanced safety standard on every vehicle.
And by engineering EVs with ultra-fast charging capability.
And Hyundai continues doing it every day because the future isn't some far-off concept. It's already here.
Next starts now.
Hyundai, an official partner of FIFA.
Goodbye. This episode is brought to you by Defending Jacob, a new Apple TV Plus limited series based on the New York Times bestseller.
It's a suspenseful, character-driven drama starring Chris Evans, Michelle Dockery, and Jaden Martell.
Defending Jacob is available exclusively on Apple TV Plus.
Open the Apple TV app and watch the first 2 episodes for free today.
We had a chance to talk to the show's screenwriter and director earlier in the week, so stick around to hear that conversation at the end of the episode. Hello.
And welcome
To My Favorite Murder.
Long Form.
That's Karen Kilgariff.
That's Georgia Hardstar.
And we're good at this.
Steven on the ones and twos. We're all here. Everybody.
Everyone is here, meaning their own houses, and they're away from each other.
As far away as possible. We've all moved to the 4 corners of Los Angeles County. I live in Pacoima. Georgia went down to Downey.
Wow.
Steven went back to his old apartment in, what was it?
Alhambra. Shout out.
Shout out.
Steven used to commute in from Alhambra.
Yeah.
I would just be like, dude, is that necessary?
They had a nice Target.
Yeah,
and a soup plantation.
R.I.P.
R.I.P.
Steven sent us an article this week, and I was seriously heartbroken that Soup Plantation is shutting down. It's a problematic name.
Yeah.
And so maybe...
Best case, the name is never going to be resuscitated, and that's great.
You gotta hope.
We laughed so hard because... we talk about Soup Plantation a lot, and there used to be one near George's old apartment.
Right.
And then Steven let us know on the text thread that that's where he brought his girlfriend, who's a professional chef, on their first date. He brought her to Soup Plantation.
That was our...
I love it.
Classy, Steven. And then he sent me back the best gif of Manny from Modern Family drinking out of a little espresso cup.
You cannot be in the Exactly Right Network family if your gift game isn't a fucking A+.
It's very competitive. And I would say, Georgia, you're amazing at it and fast. But Steven is like, it's because he's so young.
Yeah.
He's like, it's like you have them at the ready.
Right. I pick like the first, when I put in a word, I'll pick like the top 3, one of them. But Steven's like deep cut gifts.
Yeah.
I have a few saved on my phone.
Yeah.
You've got the savers. You've always got the Kim K peeking from around the edge that just fits everything.
Everything.
It's perfect. It's like the best beige color in the world where it just fits every
Kim Kardashian,
scenario.
If you don't know what we're talking about, she's peeking around the corner. Maybe we'll put it on the Instagram. A gif of her peeking. It's perfect.
I feel like we've definitely posted it before.
Yes.
We've talked about this gif a lot. But like she's got a look on her face that might be playful and, she's full of beans, except for that there is actually no expression on her face except for teeth. So then you can interpret anything. You can project anything onto Kim K's face in that gif.
And it
works. And we have. But then, Georgia, there was the time where you had the cartoon guy that looked like it was from like a total 80s cartoon. And it was like someone told us we did something good. I think this might have been an agent thread. And you just had this cartoon guy that looked like he was going like noodling, like a guy with an electric guitar. And I was so jealous.
Like an air jealous, like a air jealous, like an air guitar going. Yeah, like a nice riff, a riff.
Yes, perfect. Like a prideful riff where I had done I'd done one of those Beyonce Queen gifts. And it was just expected. It's like, you can do it. That's fine. But everyone does those ones.
But did you know, according to Vince.
Tell me your secrets.
According to Vince, I'm actually really good at air guitar.
Like you're really playing chords and stuff?
Like it's kind of one of our things where like, if I want to make Vince laugh, I hate telling all our secrets, but like.
Do it.
No, I'll do it someday on stage. Someday when we have a live show, when all this is over, our first okay, how about I promise our first live show back, I will do the fucking air guitar.
Yes, please. Okay. What a celebration that's going to be. I almost tweeted this today because, first of all, thank you everybody for all your lovely birthday wishes. Well, to me, it was
horrifying.
It was Monday. It was horrifying and it was Monday. But I stayed off because I think it's very cheesy when people are like, thanks so much, every single person or whatever. But it was really just so lovely and people said really nice things and it was just cool.
Yeah.
And then I was going to tweet this morning. I was going to be like, thank you so much and thank everybody. And then say, it's just so sad that I can't on tour. I can't go out and do my Molly Shannon impression and do the Sally O'Malley kick. I'm 50 kick.
It's tragic.
But then it's so sad. Then I realized that would make it look like I was trying to make the people who hadn't sent me a birthday wish like there could be a guilt implication. I was like, just leave it all alone. But I did get sad thinking about how I used to do that on stage and that we don't get to tour in public anytime soon.
On the actual day of you being 50 and you've done this on stage, you don't get to kick your legs out and yelling 50 while Vince brings out a fucking tray of whatever some really nice person brought us backstage, like donuts.
It's true.
With a candle in it and then the fire marshal has to follow with it. It's a thing.
I've had, I think, either 2 or 3 birthdays in a row on the road.
Yeah.
I mean.
At least 2.
Guys, I'm so sick. Guys, we miss you.
Well, we have another month until I turn 40. So,
and then we're just going to go rogue.
Then we don't have birthdays.
Like, it's our liberty. I told Georgia I want to restart the concept of the book club. The last time, which was very early in the first year, and we tried to get everyone to read V.C. Andrews' My Sweet Audrina, which was we respect the legacy.
Yes.
V.C. Andrews was a legend. She ruled the 80s. It was an unreadably bad book.
Absolutely.
It was just strangely dirty, strange.
Yeah. A lot of incest themes. Not even incest. The whole theme was incest.
Yeah. It wasn't a suggestion. It was happening on the page.
That's right.
very odd. I felt embarrassed that was my pick, but lots of people wanted to do it. And so since we're consuming so much more,
right,
everything
media,
these days,
one would
I say to Georgia, let's resuscitate this thing. Let's get it back up on its legs and read a book. So we're each going to tell you the book we're currently reading. And if you feel like joining us, then we can bring it up occasionally and talk about it. But it's again, podcasting is a one-way street. So we'll tell you what we think about the book, and that's about it.
And you'll comment on our Twitter and Instagram how you feel about it.
Yes, exactly.
Which was great. And then tell us what book we should read next, which is cool.
Completely. And if you get your comments in and we collect them up in time, we can pretend.
Read some funny ones.
Yeah, we can have a whole, you know what? Stephen might be able to bring some book club music up under and maybe sound effects, like we're all drinking wine in someone's weird living room and talking and actually having a book club. Let's just we'll work it through.
Let's workshop it.
But here's the book that I'm reading.
What are you reading?
Currently, the reason I got excited about this is, and also I tell my dad, because my dad reads books in like 2 days on his Kindle. So I just told him to read this one, so he's going to do it too.
Oh, cool. Jim.
Right? Home
involved.
Gym.
Home Gym involved in the podcast.
I sent him the listener art. Whoever made the art for Home Gym,
let me find it. It looks like your dad, and there's one photo of him on the entire internet, and somehow this person Make
it's
Moody.
Not too hard.
It's Make Moody drew this incredible fan art, and it fucking looks like your dad.
It looks like him. It looks like him laughing too, which is my favorite part. But when I texted that art to him, and he was like, "What the hell is this?" It took me 10 minutes to explain like how that. I was like, "Dad, I told the story of me asking you what you thought about Britney."
Yeah.
Like it was a whole thing that he couldn't get through his head because he doesn't understand how they did it that fast. He doesn't understand why they would care or do it.
He doesn't remember what he said. He doesn't remember the conversation.
But he was really impressed. He was really excited. And then, sidebar before I tell you the book, he told me the story. He's getting all the carpet, which is so exciting. Me and my sister are thrilled.
Oh God, childhood carpet?
Yes, he's pulling up all that old mauve. I mean, like deeply mauve, late 80s carpet that has wine stains and
sandwiches,
our old dog Molly
all over it.
Stuff.
Sandwich remains.
Maybe like a little mold by the sliding glass door where the rain came in one time. You know, it's all pulled up, and he put in hardwood floors.
That's
and
like
they met.
Next level,
right?
Like sprucing up your place.
I know. And it's like it was like his project, but so it's a father-son team that are putting in these hardwood floors. And so my dad's talking to the son, the younger guy. I mean, the son's like, I think my sister's age, but they're standing there talking, and he's looking at, the pictures or whatever. And my dad when we played Louisville, listeners who worked at Louisville Slugger Bats, Louisville Slugger, the factory. Yeah. And they made me, Georgia, and Vince all our own personalized
Stephen,
bats.
Right? No.
Did you
Sorry, Louisville.
Sorry, everybody. Stephen, we're going to get you a bat.
Yeah.
We're getting you a live bat. So my dad has it in a glass box mounted on the wall. Like
Holy shit, like you're Babe Ruth or something, and you hit the fucking home run with it. Oh my God.
For real. And this was, you remember when we got those, I called him because I thought he'd be so excited.
Yeah.
And he kept going, "Where'd you find it?" And I'd be like, "Dad, the people from the place made it." And I was like so infuriated. But once he had it in his hand and understood.
Yeah. It's like, it was etched. It says "My Favorite Murder." It's got our logo, and then it has like a quote in the back. I think yours is
all got different quotes.
It's beautiful.
The coolest gift, so neat. So when he finally saw it, he was thrilled, and then he mounted it in the foyer.
Oh my
basically,
God, like it's a sword on the wall.
So it's our sword, but. So they're standing there talking about the other pictures, and then the guy goes, "Oh, what's this? Did you buy this bat or whatever?" And he goes, "No, that's my daughter's podcast. They gave it to her as a present." And he looks over and goes, "No, my favorite. I listen to that show." And
shut your mouth.
Yes, we got The guy putting in the floors is a fan.
Oh my God.
And he thought that I grew up in Sacramento. Mm-hmm. So he's from Petaluma too. He's known our family, but I think he assumed I was a cousin or maybe just like, I don't know, or just not related at all.
Right.
So his mind was blown. And so when I sent my dad the home gym art, he goes, oh, I gotta show the floor guy. He's going to freak out. like now my dad's getting into the whole culture of it. Anyway.
I love it.
All of that is to say the book I'm reading right now for book club. I forgot about that. It's called Furious Hours, Murder, Fraud, and the Last Trial of Harper Lee.
Oh, I have that in my to read list.
Yes, it's really good.
Okay.
I think there might be a copy at the office for you where, you know,
I'm not going. Where COVID-19 lives? I know.
Where COVID-19 moved into when we got out.
A Clorox.
Yeah, you get it. Do some Lysol wipes first for Georgia. But it's the author is Casey Cep, C-E-P, and it's so, you know, Harper Lee wrote To Kill a Mockingbird, and then she helped Truman Capote write In Cold Blood and research it and stuff. And then this was basically, it's about how she came back to her home estate and maybe even a hometown, because I'm on chapter 2, to cover this trial that's unbelievable, this criminal trial. And it's so well written. It's so fascinating. I love reading this book.
And it's obviously nonfiction, right? Which is fun.
That's correct.
Historical nonfiction.
Yes.
Nonfiction. Okay.
Yeah, but also historical. I mean, it's the 70s, so long ago.
Okay, that's perfect, because I'm reading like a fiction mystery thriller book. So
yeah, you get a choice.
Yeah. But mine's also like murdery and like a whodunit-y thing. And it's by this woman who's written like 20 mystery thriller, like those books that like we love to read on the beach on vacation.
Hell yeah.
By Karen Slaughter, but it's Karen Slaughter, and it's called Pretty Girls. And I'm listening to it on an audiobook. I can't stop fucking listening to it. And it's got like, you know, sister themes, and it's got like strong female lead. Like it's about them solving maybe a murder, and like, what do we do? And our sister got lost, and like, it's really good. I can't stop listening. So I don't know how it ends, but I'm into it.
But we're in it.
Yeah.
All right. So if you want to do this with us, we're going to put together some kind of followable book club process.
Good idea.
Meet us back here in a week.
Let's see if we had any progress on that.
Let's see if we remember to ever talk about this again. Come on, it'll be fun.
Oh, I'd like to thank everyone. I want to do a thank you corner. Please. Everyone who said when I was talking about the bird that wouldn't stop tweeting by my window all night to put owl noises and hawk noises, and it would get scared and run away or whatever. It didn't work, but thank you. But it has gone away, and I think maybe that it was mating, and so now we're going to have probably a bird's nest by our window instead.
And are you going to take your Louisville Slugger and knock it out of the tree? What?
Oh my God, can you imagine?
You take it down off the wall where you mounted it yourself.
Oh, the internet. The ire of the internet.
Oh.
Cancel. That's canceled.
It is actually. You know, it's funny. I went to get the mail today, which I keep forgetting. That's a thing I can do. Like one more thing, a little task. And it's fun. I walked out to get the mail. There was a bird's nest on the ground next to the mailbox.
Oh, no.
It fell out of the tree, I think.
What'd you do?
It was empty. There was nothing sad in it or whatever. It was just like a lot of hard work.
Okay. That's beautiful. Don't touch it. Don't touch it.
No, I did not.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I went down, I sniffed it, and I got real close to it, to the mites in it.
Did a little rail of it to see if it was, rub some on my teeth to see if it was Coke.
Just to get a little jolt. Oh, I wanted to say, this isn't really a correction, but it's more of I mentioned my friend because you were telling the Sid and Nancy story. We don't know the stories that we're going to tell each other. So I was talking about my friend Luke, and I did a weird brain fart on his last name, which is awful because we worked together for 5 years. He's one of my favorite people on the planet. And I just was like, couldn't do it. And then the next day he texted me of like, oh my God, I'm so honored because he listens.
Yeah.
And so I just want to give the full credit to Luke Womack, who is the most hilarious man. One of the most fun people I've ever worked with in my life. Such a comic genius. Whoops. past.
Okay, great.
A comic genius. He actually sent me a text that said, after we said, I was like, I miss you and I haven't seen you in so long. And then he wrote, oh, and by the way, COVID-19, sashay away. That was the last text. He's a genius. I love you, Luke. Thank you for listening and, being you and for passionately loving Vivienne Westwood so much.
Yeah.
He really is her number one fan.
You know what I've been watching to stave away the depression? Because you just watch depressing shit, which you do every day in normal life, but now it's like you're hunkered down. So you need to get away. I've just been watching Parks and Rec over again. And it's so joyous.
You know who loves that show is Nora. She is. Oh, yes.
Oh, your
big
niece.
Time.
How old is she? 12 now?
She's 13 now.
Oh my God.
I know.
That's adorable. It's so good. It's just
so good.
Lighthearted and fun. And it's been Vince and I have just been putting it on instead of
Yes. It's a perfect. Also, I have to say, this will be Nora's recommendation list because she knows every word to every episode. But if you're looking for that kind of laugh out loud, get you through it, Modern Family, they just wrapped their 13th season.
Yeah.
You have a vast world to dive into. If you've never gotten into Modern Family, I swear to God, the joke writing is superb.
It's tight. It's so tight.
It's hilarious. It's just so good.
Yeah. I love that. Should we do a quick Exactly Right corner? Exactly
Let's
Right.
do it.
So I'm going to feature this week, This Podcast Will Kill You, which is a great podcast. They're celebrating their 50th episode this week by covering the history of antibiotics, which is fucking fascinating. I can't wait to listen to it. It's going to be rad.
So good. Congratulations on your 50th episode.
Yeah.
Ladies. And also this week on I Said No Gifts, which I believe comes out today also. Bridger has our game night friend from the Sexy Unique podcast, Carrie O'Donnell. Hilarious writer, hilarious man. Steven said he enjoyed recording it, that it all went great. So definitely check in if you're a Sexy Unique podcast fan or if you've just heard those Carrie O'Donnell stories and you need to get more. Bridger and Carrie together are supremely hilarious.
I love it.
Summer means a whole new world for your feet.
They're walking more, sweating more, and going barefoot all day long.
For summer feet that need real comfort, there's Bombas.
Bombas has a whole line of sport-specific socks for golf, yoga, the gym, and every kind of runner.
They also make soft, supportive compression socks that are especially great for summer travel.
Bombas sandals and slides are made from super lightweight, cushy, waterproof EVA foam, so they feel incredibly comfortable.
And the best part? For every item you buy, Bombas donates an essential clothing item to someone facing housing insecurity, with over 200 million donations and counting.
I wore my Bombas compression socks on the plane ride to and from Italy. And listen, I'm a girl of a certain age at this point. It needs to be done. And I felt so comfy and so secure with my cute little Bombas socks.
So head over to bombas.com/MFM and use code MFM for 20% off your first purchase.
That's BOMBAS.com/MFM, code MFM at checkout. Goodbye. This podcast is brought to you by Squarespace.
Every successful small business starts with someone saying, I wonder if people would actually buy this.
Squarespace gives you everything you need to find out.
From consultations to events and experiences, you can showcase your skills with a customizable website designed to attract clients and grow your business.
With Squarespace's collection of cutting-edge design tools, anyone can build a beautiful, professional online presence that perfectly fits their brand or business.
Get paid on time with professional invoices and online payments. Plus, streamline your workflow with built-in appointment scheduling and email marketing tools.
Head to squarespace.com/murder for a free trial.
And when you're ready to launch, use offer code MURDER to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain.
Goodbye. Every piece of furniture you own has a story.
Sometimes it's an heirloom, and sometimes it came with the house because it was too heavy to move.
If you're ready to start a new chapter with your home decor, there's Article.
Article makes it effortless to create a stylish, long-lasting home at an unbeatable price.
They take great care in curating their collection, focusing on pieces that stand the test of time.
We've talked about Article for a long time. There are pieces in that catalog that are so affordable that are room changers. And if you go through there and there's like a little something you don't even realize you need it until you see how they have stuff set up or what style combinations that they're doing, where they do the boho chic. There's mid-century. It's a little bit modern. It's something new. Like, there's so many choices in there, and it's not going to break the bank.
As someone who's interested in tons of different styles and time periods, Article covers them all in one place. I love that.
I know I've mentioned already how much I love my entryway table, but I swear to God, because the path that it's on, I pass it 4 times a day, and I love it more every time.
Article is offering our listeners $50 off your first purchase of $100 or more.
To claim, visit article.com/murder, and the discount will be automatically applied at checkout.
That's article.com/murder for $50 off your first purchase of $100 or more.
Goodbye.
Is that it all?
I think that's all I have.
Is that it?
I think it is. Looks like it. And guess who's first this week?
Me. Right?
That's right.
Oh, okay, good.
If I just didn't answer.
All right. Okay. Woo.
Woo!
You know when you get one that like you're excited to tell, so you're nervous about it because you want to get everything fucking right. This is one of those. And this one might be as strange as that Galapagos affair one I did a while back. It's got twists and turns. It's a fucking story. And you might know a little bit about it, but so this is the disappearance of Madalyn Murray O'Hair, the most hated woman in America.
That's right. This story is amazing, and she's amazing.
So I got info from the Austin Chronicle, an article by Robert Bryce, the New York Times. There's an article on Medium by Delaney R. Bartlett, Washington Post by Paul Duggan. There's so many good articles about this out there. There's a Texas Monthly article. And there's an episode of this really great show, Vanity Fair Confidential, that I watched that's about her.
I started watching that show because it's on
on
Netflix,
the ID.
Maybe?
No, I think you can get the
the ID channel
app and watch all of them.
I think we've talked about this before. Vanity Fair Confidential, if you are into true crime, even if it's a story you've heard 1,000 times, their version of it is unbelievably...
And you don't like corny reenactments. You want to hear from multiple sources. It's like journalism.
Yeah, because these are Vanity Fair writers. This is the honor society of journalism.
Right. And then they interview
the
local journalists. It's a good show.
It's so good.
So I watched that. There's also a Netflix show made for Netflix in 2017 called The Most Hated Woman in America. That's based on it, but there's some things, but I have the who plays who just in case you need it.
Okay, great.
So,
can I do a guess?
No.
Starring Kathy Bates?
It would have been great, but no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
She should. Well, because she should. Okay. So Madalyn, her name's Madalyn Murray O'Hair. Madalyn was born on April 13th, 1919 in Pittsburgh. She's baptized and raised as a Presbyterian in an upper middle class family until the 1929 stock market crash, and her family fucking lost everything. In her 20s, she enlists for World War II and serves as a cryptographer in the Women's Army Corps. And when she's stationed in Italy, she meets this dude and has an affair with him. His name's William Murray Jr., and he's a married officer. And she gets pregnant with his baby, but he's a staunch Catholic, so he refuses to leave his wife because divorce isn't allowed. So maybe that's when
cheating is also not allowed.
Right.
So it's weird because you're okay with breaking some rules. I don't know
how it works that way. So he refuses to marry her. She takes his last name anyways. So that's where she becomes Madalyn Murray. And when she comes back to the U.S., she gives birth to a son and names him William. And so his nickname's Bill. So his name's Bill Murray.
Oh,
essentially
went on to be a hilarious. No.
So back home. So maybe okay. Maybe the Catholic part is what made her become an atheist. Maybe it just, she already was. Who knows?
Very good chance.
Yeah. She's like, fuck this shit. So back home, Madalyn gets a law degree from the South Texas College of Law, and she moves with her son, Bill Murray, to Baltimore. And then on November 16th, 1954, she has a second son named John Garth Murray, fathered by an ex-boyfriend. So she has 2 kids. Mm-hmm. So one morning in 1960, as the tale goes, she's taking Bill to junior high, Bill Murray to junior high, to enroll in classes in Baltimore. And she hears the students reciting the Lord's Prayer at the start of the class. And she's like, I don't want my son doing that. He's not, religious. But they refuse to excuse him from saying the Lord's Prayer. So in a radical move, she takes Baltimore School Board to the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
To fucking talk about the church and state separation.
Yeah.
So
you mean what our country was founded on?
Right. Separation of church and state. So
pretty important.
And this is a time, though, it's the 1960s when I think most Americans considered themselves religious in some way. There was this moral majority. There was just, how you do things, and religion, especially Catholic, it seems like Christian religions, obviously.
Christian religions, yeah.
Christian religions were huge. And so,
because that's a thing that my mom used to always bring that up. She's like, these people that fight for prayer in schools.
Right.
They're never talking about anything from the Torah.
No.
They're never talking about anything Muslim.
No.
When they think of prayer, it's only the Christian point of view.
That's right.
It's so myopic. And
yes.
so, anyway, sorry.
That's exactly, no, I need this in here. I want it. And atheism itself is looked down upon almost like in the same way Satanism was, where it's just like atheism who believes in not any of that. Of course, people who are religious take it as you believe in the opposite of what I believe in, which isn't that, but they're mad and they think they're right. So, but still, even though it's like that in America, in a historic ruling, the Supreme Court sides with her, and there was a couple other lawsuits at the same time, and banned school prayer in 1963. How fucking literally radical. She's a fucking radical.
She's a true radical. Not really thinking of her junior high age son, though, and how difficult it would be to have a mom that's doing stuff like that.
And she's doing it for him. But in the photos from back then, he just looks so unhappy and miserable.
It's rough.
And so she's not the only plaintiff in the ruling, but she is the loudest voice and becomes like the face of it and a kind of a celebrity of it. And so Madalyn, who's played by Melissa Leo. Do you know who that is?
Oh, yes.
So she they age her. And when she becomes the older version of her, it looks exactly like her. It's just this white hair, like she looks like a grandma librarian and cute and everything. But then you talk to her and those people that you talk to and you say something normal to them and they immediately, you don't know who they are. They're checking you out of the library and then they're mad at you immediately and you're just like, why? I don't you know what I mean?
Yes, I was raised by those people.
Nuns.
Those are my people. Well, it's also that thing. It's just ironic because it's that thing of like, the whole thing of like, you don't want prayer in school. You don't want people shoving stuff down, your kid's throat or dictating anything. But a lot of times those personalities and the people that fight for stuff like that are the people who shove stuff down other people's throats.
Exactly. So she was loud and brash right back at the people who were loud and brash at her about religion. And she's combative. She's outspoken. She's fucking angry. She drinks beer. She curses like a sailor.
Love it all.
She says, I'm a militant feminist. She fights for abortion rights. She's just like out there and loud about it. There's a reporter named Valerie Williams who said, quote, I have never encountered a more bitter, more distasteful person than Madalyn Murray O'Hair. She was extremely foul-mouthed to the point that even though we were doing an interview about something that she wanted us to do a story on, we had to stop the interview in the middle because she was cursing so much. Which in my whole fucking cunty heart appreciate. As someone who said the word cunt on the Grand Ole Opry stage, I appreciate that. I mean,
and also, to claim that you're a militant feminist in the late 60s, early 70s was insane. I mean, like that's, this has only been cool in the last 5 years.
Yeah, totally.
It's very edgy. I mean, all of it. It's also, in my opinion, a lot of times this boils down to being a very intelligent woman in modern society.
Yes.
It's a difficult thing to be the kind of person that's smart enough to be did you say she was a cartographer in the Women's Army?
Yes.
So this is a very intelligent woman. Cryptographer. Oh, she's doing code breaking.
Yeah, and she goes to law school. She's a smart cookie,
She's a smart cookie that's tired of of dumb people ruining shit.
And the thing about her being smart is she knows that the loudest voice gets heard, because the fucking loudest voice in the evangelical Christians, whatever, is fucking yelling at the pulpit too. And they're getting a ton of what's his face?
Jerry Falwell?
Jerry Falwell. Right. So
yeah. She got it. You got to fight fire with fire. But it's the whole thing of women aren't supposed to be that way. Yeah. Women aren't supposed to do stuff like that when they're not supposed to swear, drink beer.
Right. And you're on the other side. So they're pissed. And so she appears on the debut episode of Phil Donahue. He was like, that's our first episode. We need her.
He's a genius.
Yes.
Also, there's no way his wife, Marlo Thomas, didn't have something to do with that, because she was also a militant feminist.
Nice.
But she was that girl. So she was like the prettiest version of that. She was like a Gloria Steinem type.
Like, let me make this palatable for you fucking patriarchy assholes. So she appears on Phil Donahue's first show to publicly discuss her atheist views. The audience turns against her, as does the public.
Yep.
And in a 1964 article in Life magazine, she's dubbed the most hated woman in America. Excuse me. Leave that in. Which she's proud of. She's like, hell yeah, and proud of that fucking title. So Madalyn goes on the news circuit and she criticizes and ridicules religion and religious people. I mean, she's fucking laughing in their faces, and she laughs at the entire concept of God. She riles them up, and of course then gets more press for it. And because of that, she's harassed. She receives tons of death threats against her and her family. She says like their cat got killed, and she got mail with feces in it, and her home was stoned. Like, you know, she becomes literally the most hated woman in America. So in the late 60s, Madalyn takes all her infamy and attention and founds the American Atheists Organization. The aim of the organization is to, quote, defend the civil rights of non-believers, work for the separation of church and state, and address issues of First Amendment public policy. So after setting up the headquarters in Austin, where she lives now, she marries again and that's why she's Madalyn Murray O'Hair. Her husbands are footnotes in her story, which I appreciate.
But she found a man.
Yeah, that's true. Despite everything.
Just kidding. There's some people out there going, what? Yeah, how would you say that?
There's someone for everyone. Madalyn becomes famous. She has an atheist radio program, television show called American Atheist Forum, and it's on more than 140 cable channels. So she's fucking famous. And so for the next few decades, Madalyn devotes her life to campaigning against the church's power. She continues to file suits challenging religious displays and rituals, including, so one of the things she does is trying to get "In God We Trust" removed from dollar bills. Which is like, it's government.
I mean,
she tries to get the phrase "under God" out of the Pledge of Allegiance. She fights tax exempt status for the Catholic and Mormon churches.
That was right.
Yeah. And then,
she was right.
Then there's some shit about the moon landing and how one of the astronauts was going to take communion on the moon, and missionaries wanted to go to the moon in case there were other life forms so they can convert them. It's just
now they're fucking with her.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
It's absurd. And there's a clip of her just laughing about it. It's absurd. So, and she's placed on J. Edgar Hoover's list of dangerous citizens. However, and maybe because of this, atheists all around the world start to fucking send her and her organization money to fight against, to fight her fights. Mm-hmm. So at the peak of the American Atheists, height of their power, it's estimated that Madalyn controls up to $15 million in donated assets.
Oh my God.
And one of those fans is none other than Larry Flint, who is the owner of Hustler.
Hell yeah.
He tries to sign over his $300 million empire to her in case he dies, but his brother's like, this is not fucking happening. But he's like a fan, and she writes for Hustler and Playboy and, throughout the years.
Wow.
And throughout the 70s and into what becomes a super religious Reagan era of the 80s, she goes to court many times. She battles religious symbolism in the official domain. She fights for legalization of abortion. But in the 80s, more and more people are going to church and becoming right wing. The satanic panic didn't happen in a bubble. It's because everyone, it's the same kind of fucking gasoline that lit this fire.
Well, and it's that cultural pendulum that always swings,
right?
Where it's like this, the whatever they call it, the social revolution or whatever it's correctly called, of the late 60s and into the 70s, then there was that malaise and that, remember, like, you know,
you know what? I forgot to mention this when I was doing the Kent State story, but those were like so many of those hippies and people and college students who thought they finally had a voice and were finally going to change the world. It didn't work. And they became, and my dad talked about this too, they become disillusioned and stop giving a shit. And they're like, I might as well become a fucking capitalist.
Yep.
And that's what happened in the late 70s and 80s.
Yeah, a lot of those people in the Woodstock documentary is amazing because there's a guy that like was at Woodstock doing the whole thing, and I think this is how they got the Mad Men final episode. In the Woodstock documentary, he talks about this insane weekend that he has, and then he went back to his job, his advertising job, and wrote "Plop Flop Fizz Fizz, oh what a relief it is."
That is
and
totally Mad Men final,
right? And he was like basically one of the biggest ad people after that, but he was like he had the whole realization at Woodstock of like, have this great idea. And then it was like, it's the pendulum swings. And it's like, we tried that. It's scary. I didn't get what I needed out of it.
No.
So now we go this way. And Ronald Reagan says, you know, let's all pray and trickle down economics.
Right.
And
so the American Atheist Organization, they still have a membership in the high five figures, but by 1990, they're kind of dwindling. All the chapters around the country are gone, and the organization is kind of on the like low end of the pendulum, and they have tax problems. It seems like maybe they're laundering some money. That's me
always.
Yeah. And legal fights and, you know, that they're doing drain the organization because they have to hire lawyers to fight these fights. And Madalyn starts considering leaving for New Zealand. She's like, fuck this shit. She can't fucking leave the house. She's been like harassed and, you know, attacked. So on August 27th, 1995, when a typewritten note is attached to the locked office doors at the headquarters of the American Atheists in Austin, saying that Madalyn, who's 76, her younger son, Garth, who's 40, and Madalyn's granddaughter, who's 30, who's actually Bill Murray's daughter. But she is, you know, they're all like a really close little family, the three of them. It says they'd been called out of town on an emergency. Don't know how long they'll be gone. Don't worry about it. And so it didn't seem like totally out of the ordinary that they had like skipped town. But members of the atheist organization, they searched the family home. There's no evidence of violence or a struggle, but it does seem like they left in a hurry because it's like the thing of half-eaten food on the table, like they were in the middle of a meal kind of a story.
She throws down her meatloaf and goes, we got to go to New Zealand right now.
All right. Come on. You know how it is. Yeah. Madalyn's diabetes medication are still there. Their passports are still there. And they left their dogs behind, like untaken care of, which isn't like them at all. Man, atheists take care of their dogs. Everyone knows that.
It's all they have.
That's right.
Dog is their co-pilot. Come on.
Good one.
Bumper sticker comedy.
Yeah. But a few days later, so they're like, this is weird. We don't know what's going on. They try to get in touch with all of them. But finally, Garth, the son, does answer his cell phone when they call. And he's like, don't worry about it. Everything's fine. But he's really vague about their whereabouts. And Garth and the granddaughter, Robin, answer the cell phone occasionally the next couple of weeks, give strange, vague answers. And the last time anyone talks to them on September 28th, Robin, the granddaughter, is described as being distraught. And after that, no one ever hears from them again. So of course a bunch of people are like, they fucking skipped town and are living in New Zealand, living it up on all the money they laundered. And some people are like, well, maybe the fucking people they angered finally, you know, killed them. It's like, who the fuck knows? And it takes a year for Madalyn's estranged son, Bill Murray, he fucking cut ties with the family, to finally report her missing to the Austin police. But since there's no evidence of foul play, the police don't follow up on the report. And also remember, this is Texas, which is probably one of those religious places ever. And so they don't give a shit about this woman as well in the 90s, you know?
Yeah.
So a year after the Murray O'Hair disappearance, a reporter from San Antonio Express News, John McCormick. Now, this guy's our fucking hero of the story. Don't you love it when the journalists are the fucking people who solve the problems? John McCormick
happens a lot.
It does. John McCormick is assigned to write an anniversary story on the disappearance of the three of them. And he just assumes that they fled the country and didn't want to be found. So he starts to dig into the story. He speaks speaks with ex-members of the atheist organization. And one of those members is a man named David Waters, who's played by Josh Lucas.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Is he a bad guy? Josh Lucas always turns out to be a douchebag.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. Just saying.
What has he been in?
Oh, tons of stuff. Well, he was in like Ford versus Ferrari as the douchebag from Ford, you know, but like he always is that guy where you're like, or he's like the boyfriend that at first you think is great. And then he's like, not I feel like he's being typecast and pigeonholed when he is
because he's good at it. So this guy, David Waters, insists fervently that the family left town. He's like, I think that they fucking stole a bunch of money. And here I have like letters and shit to prove it. And he gives it to any reporter that'll listen to him. He's on several news shows. He's on America's Most Wanted talking about the disappearance, talks to any fucking reporter about it. Mm-hmm. So let's leave him over there. After publishing his story, John McCormick gets it. So he puts the story in the paper being like, I don't really know what happened to them. This is odd. He can't figure anything out. He puts the story up. Then he gets a call from a private investigator who specializes in finding missing persons, which sounds like the best fucking job ever.
Yeah.
His name's Tim Young. And he had read the article and was like, I don't care what happens. I need to be part of this. Like, this is fascinating. So the two of them, McCormick and fucking Young, for about 19 months, they chase leads. They examine phone records and credit card bills. And they're able to place Madalyn and her son and granddaughter in the San Antonio area during the month after they disappeared. And so in San Antonio, the three of them had maxed out their credit cards with cash advances, and they find that $600,000 had been withdrawn from the organization's account by Garth. So after September 28th, there's no more activity on the cell phones or any other credit cards or accounts, which just supports the authorities' theory that the family was fleeing the country, right? They're like getting cash in later day. But it's just not adding up for McCormick and Young. They just like it's not coming together.
Yeah.
So McCormick's leads dry up until mid-1998 when he gets a call from a man who had read his article as well. And this dude is like, okay, so my brother is a small-time con man. His name's Danny Fry. He had gone missing around the same time that the Murray O'Hairs disappeared. The three of them disappeared. And all he knew is that his brother was last known to be in San Antonio in September of 1995, which was the time period, doing some kind of job with a dude who kept getting mentioned in these news articles named David Waters, aka, and he was like, my brother who went to see him had actually served prison time with him. So then McCormick's like, So remember David Waters, who we just talked about, who worked for Madalyn. What's his deal? Let's find out.
Let's dig.
So he had been hired by Madalyn in 1993 as a typesetter for the atheist organization. I don't know if she knew that he had been in prison when she hired him, but she was very vocal about giving people serving their time and giving them second chances. So she actually didn't give a shit, which is...
What wasn't she vocal about? Like, sorry, I'm going to keep this opinion to myself. It's about how darkly I like to toast my toast.
I don't like to talk about that.
I'm just going to be quiet about it.
I like burnt toast. So David Waters, he also was this charming, hardworking, smart dude. So he was good at his job and eventually got promoted to office manager until the family discovers that he had stolen $54,000 from the atheists organization fund.
Wow.
No, I almost put this paper to the side. Don't do that.
Tape it to the wall behind you.
So the family, they press charges on David Waters. He's only given probation and ordered to pay back the money. And so Madalyn is fucking furious that he didn't get he only got a slap on the wrist. So in the organization's July 1995 newsletter, she exposes David Waters' criminal background and says everything that he had been in prison for and had ever done, which is that he was in there at 17 years old, he had beat a man to death with a fence post.
Oh my God.
So that's why he was in prison. And when he was released, he brutally assaulted his mother and urinated in her face afterwards.
Oh my God.
So he was a monster, and she put it in the fucking newsletter.
Okay. Sorry. We've been doing this podcast for 4 years. I don't think we've ever heard a detail like that. I mean, we've heard intensely fucked
and I wasn't
shit.
sure if I was going to put it in there, but I want to just stress.
No, it like gives a very clear picture of it's his mother.
His mother.
Shit.
So this guy is not on the fucking level.
And
he
she
works,
put it in the newsletter.
She put it in and I must have been, with all the money, had $15 million. There must have been thousands and hundreds of thousands of fucking people who got this newsletter in their mailbox every week.
It was over by the horoscopes, but still, it was in there. It was in there.
The atheist horoscope, you're fine. Be nice. Don't be a dick.
You're the same as everybody else. We all have many, we all contain multitudes.
Yeah, there's no heaven. Be nice now. The end. And he had stolen $54,000 from them. So he's like, he's a bad guy. And shortly after, so that was printed in July 1995. And remember, they went missing in August 1995. September is when people last heard from them. Right?
Do you think the line about him peeing in his own mother's face was in the newsletter?
I think it was. And I tried to find the newsletter and I couldn't find it, but I think that was specifically in the newsletter.
I mean, it's making me nervous. And this happened 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
That's fucking Madalyn for you.
It's called I Don't Give a Fuck, but the Madalyn Murray O'Hair story.
No, it's called Come At Me, Bro.
Yeah.
The Madalyn Murray O'Hair story.
Come at me, bro, because I put it in the newsletter. Yo.
It's too late. It's in the newsletter.
Too late.
So McCormick and Young, remember John McCormick, our newspaper writer, and our I'm going to picture him really beautiful. He looks like Paul Holes in my mind. Private detective.
Yeah.
They're like, oh shit. And they're like, let's do some fucking digging. Like now we know we knew something was going on. So they find the phone records for this guy's brother, Fry, and David Waters, and they are able to tie them together around the same time. And, that they're all in San Antonio around that time. And there's also third fucking accomplice. His name is, Gary Carr, and he was also an ex-cellmate of David Waters. And he was a serial rapist and kidnapper.
Jesus.
So it's the three of them at the same time, and one of them had worked for Madalyn.
And they all had copies of that newsletter in the back pocket of their lead jeans.
They had put it in a baseball bat case and put it on their wall for some time in the future when they might need it. So they had all been in San Antonio during this time in question. And so McCormick and Young are like, let's bring this to the Austin PD. Right? Like we have it fucking,
hell yeah.
Like those little red threads with the push buttons that go all the way over to the,
that Carrie put up in Homeland?
Yeah.
The Homeland map?
Or the True Detective style. It's like the fucking classic. They all added up and they were like, what's up, Austin PD? Here you go. And Austin PD was like, we don't give a fuck.
She bugged us.
There's no body, so there's nothing we can do about it. Goodbye. So
they were like, she was not hot and she swore. So fuck her.
Right. So whatever. They move on. And finally, by sheer fucking godly, maybe coincidence.
It was the Lord working.
Okay, so by sheer coincidence, McCormack sees a story in a Dallas newspaper about how 3 years earlier, in 1995, a headless, handless corpse had been found nearby in the Trinity River. And he contacts the Dallas police with information, and he's like, I think I know who this is. And with DNA testing in early 1999, it's confirmed that the corpse is Danny Fry, the brother that the guy had called about his brother, who was one of David Waters' accomplices.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Not a good sign for everybody else involved. No.
So McCormick writes an article about the whole thing. Finally, it gets the attention of not just the police, but the FBI. And then they find out that the IRS special agent, Edmund Martin, had been looking into this case since 1997 because he was like, this is fucking money laundering, if nothing else.
Yeah.
Because they had already evaded taxes and shit and they owed a bunch of money to the IRS. So he'd been looking into it.
So now you get to fold in. So there's the intrepid, beautiful reporter. There's the intrepid, beautiful detective.
Private investigator.
Private investigator, Paul Holstyle. And now there's a nerd from the IRS coming in.
Right.
Just to fill out that ragtag team.
So finally, on March 24th, 1999, 7 weeks after McCormick's story is published, the agents from the IRS, the FBI, and the Dallas County Sheriff's Office raid the apartments of the two surviving, accomplices. It's Carr and Waters. And then David Waters' rundown, shitty ass apartment. And they're like, why does he have a shitty apartment if he stole $600,000 from these people? Yeah. They find 119 rounds of ammunition, and it's a parole violation because he's on parole for stealing the money from before.
Great. That's good news.
That's good news. So David Waters is arrested. Gary Carr is also arrested for similar parole violations. And Waters is sentenced to 8 years on the weapons charge, but 60 years for violating the terms of his parole. You would have hoped
6-0?
Yes.
16.
6D. 60.
Wow.
And he was like in his 50s by then. So you would have hoped that he got 60 years for murdering a person with a fence post, but no. It's for violating
It was
parole.
a different time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I wrote, okay, but what does this have to do with murder, Georgia? I was like, you're off track at this point.
There's lots of murder so far.
That's true.
There's a headless, handless corpse in a river.
Right. That's murder, most likely.
What more do people want? It's a worse murder.
So here's what happens. Knowing that he's going to prison for the rest of his life, that's on his parole violations, and he doesn't want to be in a Texas state prison anymore. He wants that sweet, sweet fucking federal cushy prison.
Yeah, where there's all the tennis lessons and stuff.
Exactly.
Easy.
So in 2001, he's like, all right, I'll confess to everything if you put me in a federal prison. And he does it. And he fucking begins telling the story of the kidnapping and murder of Madalyn, her son Garth, and her granddaughter Robin. So on August 27th, 1995, he says, the three convicts, Waters, Carr, and Fry, all armed with handguns, they use a delivery man ruse. They surprise Madalyn, Garth, and Robin at the Atheists headquarters, kidnap them, take them to a motel in San Antonio, demand the contents of their bank account, which is the $600,000, which is in New Zealand. So maybe that money laundering thing is true. But and they're like, we'll let you go unharmed once we have the money. But because it's in fucking New Zealand, it turns out that it's going to take a long time to get to the US. 30 fucking days. So in this, like, it's like an apartment motel. What are those long-term living apartments called?
Yeah, I think it's long-term. Extended stay. It's
an extended stay place. They end up staying there for 30 days together. They play cards, they watch TV, they get fucking takeout, and they kind of like become friends and begin to trust each other. So the money is on its way. It gets stuck in a bank in New Jersey, and the son Garth and David Waters actually get on a plane and fly there together so Garth can get it out. And he trusts that he's not going to get killed so much that he doesn't alert anyone to what's going on.
Whoa.
Yeah, like he believes them that they're not going to kill him and his family, his mom and niece.
So not even,
I know.
Wow.
And you know what? Maybe they weren't going to, because according to the story, and who knows if it's true, when they get back from New Jersey, David Waters goes in and learns that Carr, who was a rapist, remember?
Yeah.
Had raped and murdered young Robin, the granddaughter.
No.
That's according to the story. And so Garth and Madalyn don't know about that. And they finally get the $600,000. And they trade it all for gold coins at the local jewelry store. And once they have the money, the three convicts attack Garth in his sleep. They put a leather belt around his neck. And he's fucking 6'4" and over 200 pounds. And so he puts up this huge fight against these three men, but eventually they put a bag over his head and he suffocates to death. Ugh, it's awful. It's just so fucking sad and heartbreaking and greedy and mean and terrible and
dumb.
And Madalyn's,
you'll get caught.
Yeah. Madalyn's killed in the same fucking way.
Oh, God.
It's really awful. The three of them take the bodies back to Austin, and in a storage unit, they dismember the bodies with a bow saw. They put them each into 55-gallon barrels, and then they drive to a remote area and bury the barrels. And at some point, maybe when they were burying the family, David Waters shoots Fry in the back of the head, killing him. Maybe he was a double crosser or something.
Yeah. And
remember the headless body that's found? It's his, and they throw his head and hands into the pit with the rest of them.
Good God.
Yeah. So afterwards, Waters and Carr go on a fucking spending spree. They spend nearly $80,000 of that $600,000. But the rest of it, almost $500,000, they put in a suitcase in a different storage unit. Okay. And now, fucking ironically, and this does make me believe in a higher power, 3 local teenage hoodlums are on a fucking spree.
Yes. How God works through teenage hoodlums.
Exactly.
100%. Yes.
God works in mysterious teenage hoodlums. They fucking start breaking into storage units.
Yes.
They steal the fucking suitcase.
Yes.
All the money that this fucking 3 people were killed for. They steal it. They go on a crazy spending spree. Eventually they get caught as well. But it's like, can you imagine like David Waters walking up to his fucking storage unit and that shit got stolen? It's like Fargo. It's just this fucking...
It is. Yeah. It's a total Fargo. And it also is that thing of like all the work. I mean, it's very similar to Fargo. All the work to put in to stay with that family for a month.
Yeah.
To have to live with the people you're eventually going to murder.
Right.
Like, what? How could you do it? It's horrifying.
It just shows how there's just so many people who don't have a conscience that will do such things to people that they get to know and play cards with and shit. It's
just for money.
Just for
Fargo. All of that for just a little bit of money.
That's right. After his confession, David Waters leads the police to the remote ranch in Camp Wood, Texas. They find the shallow grave with 3 dismembered skeletons and the hands and skull with a bullet hole in them. Madalyn is identified by the serial number on her artificial hip, and later the others are all identified through DNA. Gary Carr is given 2 life sentences without the possibility of parole for all of the crimes, but they don't ever try them for the murder. No one ever gets tried for murder and kidnapping. David Waters dies of lung cancer on January 27th, 2003 in federal prison. And no one's ever tried for the murders. But in an ironic twist, when they do go to court for these life sentences, the swearing on a Bible, the in God part is taken out partly because of Madalyn's fight to get God out of government.
Wow.
Isn't that amazing?
Yes.
So finally, the Murray O'Hairs are reburied in an unmarked grave to protect them from vandals by their son, William Murray. He, even though he's estranged and clearly doesn't like his mom, he respects her wishes and allows no prayers or religious services at their funeral, despite the fact that he is now an evangelical Christian.
Of course he is.
Right. Because you can't make your children do what you want them to do.
No.
In fact, he founded the Religious Freedom Coalition, which is the largest and most powerful Christian right lobbying group in the nation.
Oh my God.
It's like, it's just how it works. Here's a quote from Madalyn Murray O'Hair. She says, "I told my kids I just want 3 words on my tombstone, if I have one: woman, atheist, anarchist. That's me." And that is the mysterious disappearance and murder of Madalyn Murray O'Hair.
Unbelievable story.
Bananas is that?
It's really, that's amazing that you said that, because it really is very parallel to Fargo.
Totally.
Just a lot less funny, but still just that insane. And look, I love a loud, obnoxious woman. Clearly I am one. Clearly I love to swear. Clearly I don't give a fuck. But there is that thing that I think I've learned more recently in my older age, which is that it is a much more peaceful life when you're not so obsessed with these ideas in your head of how you need it to be, because it isn't true. Even if it's like, I honestly, personally believe that there needs to be a separation of church and state, because when you don't separate church from the government, then the church is used to sway people and to hold power over people where it doesn't belong.
Right.
It should not be allowed.
Right.
And it's also not considering everybody, because everyone only thinks church as in Catholic or Christian church, which doesn't represent America. This is a country filled with all kinds of religions and backgrounds and atheists. And you have to represent this country when you're talking about the government, the official representative of the country.
Right.
But if you get so attached to your crusade that you start going in basically the same direction that you're accusing the people of being the oppressors, then the oppressed become the oppressors. It's absolute power that corrupts absolutely. It's the same thing every time.
Yeah, totally.
I didn't realize I had such a speechy. I mean, I love to make a speech, but
I love it. And it's great.
I love the concept of her.
Yes.
But I wish she had aimed more for the middle, because you can't just mimic the people you hate. You can't be exactly the same as them and then go, they're the ones that are wrong.
Well, no one
now
will
you're
listen
doing
to
it too.
But, you know, your side cheers for you and the other side yells their version of that right back at you, and their side cheers for them. And no one ever learns anything. No one ever comes to an understanding. No one says, I get what you're saying, but I don't agree with it. It's, I need to destroy you. And
yes.
And you can't move.
Welcome to 2020 America.
Exactly. You can't move forward if that's what's happening.
Right. And I mean, maybe, not to be overly philosophical now, but maybe that's the huge benefit of such an insane thing like this pandemic, and something as awful as what this country is going through right now and the death that people are seeing, that it's waking them up to this idea that this big concept of whatever side they're on is merely a concept.
Right.
And what they need to do is whoever lives next door to them, no matter where that person lands in the political spectrum or the religious spectrum or the whatever, make sure that person's okay, because it's your neighbor, and you should give a shit about the people around you, and you shouldn't be picking teams. You should be trying to help,
because
others.
you know. Sorry.
No, I'm just saying shit that's like you know why? In kindergarten.
Because they fucking benefit when we're fighting. The fucking big government, the fucking people who make the laws, the overlords benefit when we're fighting against each other this angrily and this loudly, because then we're not paying attention to what they're doing to us, which is fucking making the poor and fucking taking, you know, money from all kinds of evil fucking people so they can benefit. Meanwhile, you know, we can't fucking pay rent because the entire government is shut down.
Yeah. Or they're just still considering whether or not they want to help people.
Right.
Yeah, that was an amazing story. You were right. That had it all.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Also, it sucks too, because just that what she was fighting for was important, and what she wanted was basically just another version of equality. Right. She wanted everyone to be represented instead of just the, you know, just majority. The Christians or just the Roman Catholics or whoever. She wanted everyone to be represented, and she wanted it to be fair.
You know your favorite summer clothes by what actually makes it into your suitcase.
Find the outfits you'll wear all season long at Quince.
Quince's 100% European linen pants, dresses, and tops are the pieces you'll reach for all summer long. They're lightweight, effortless to style, and they start at just $32.
Their denim is soft and comfortable, and their organic cotton sweaters are perfect for layering when evenings get cold.
Quince's beautiful 14-karat gold jewelry adds a subtle finishing touch.
So I just went to Italy, and you bet I brought my 100% European linen scoop neck midi dress along with me in the color of floral waterfall, and I wore that thing all over Italy. It was like the perfect day to night. It just looked so pretty, and I felt like I looked sophisticated while still being comfortable.
Make your summer wardrobe feel easier.
Head to quince.com/MFM for free shipping and 365-day returns.
Go to QUINCE.com/MFM for free shipping and 365-day returns.
Quince.com/MFM.
Goodbye. While the world watches the stars at the FIFA World Cup this summer, Hyundai has its eyes on the next generation of talent.
The future soccer stars who are already turning heads at age 14.
Making plays that end up on everyone's feed, scoring from angles that don't make sense, rewriting record books that barely had time to gather dust.
Because next doesn't wait for an invitation, and Hyundai doesn't either.
Hyundai has always moved the future within reach.
Hyundai did it by making advanced safety standard on every vehicle.
Hyundai did it by engineering EVs with ultra-fast charging capability.
And Hyundai continues doing it every day.
From robotics that change how people live to young athletes changing the game, the future isn't some far-off concept. It's already here.
Next starts now.
Hyundai, an official partner of FIFA.
Goodbye.
Support for today's episode comes from Square.
Nobody starts a business because they love payroll
or invoices or business.
And that's why there's Square.
Square brings your payments, inventory, scheduling, staff, online orders, and reporting together in one connected system.
You can take payments in person, online, or on the go and track sales and inventory in real time.
Instead of juggling a bunch of different apps, Square keeps everything connected behind the scenes, so you're spending less time fixing problems.
Whether you're just getting started or growing your business, Square is designed to grow with you without complicated setup, contracts, or hidden fees.
If you're starting a business or running one that deserves better tools, Square helps you sell, manage, and grow without slowing down.
Right now, you can get up to $200 off Square hardware at square.com/go/MFM.
That's SQUARE.com/GO/MFM.
Run your business smarter with Square. Get started today. Goodbye.
Great job. That was really good.
Thank you.
Yeah. It was exciting. And as you were introducing it and saying, you know, those ones where you get really excited, I was like, yeah, because that's mine this week.
Really?
Speaking of which, but this is like kind of an update. So it doesn't really belong in Corrections Corner, and it's a huge bummer. So, and thank you to Hannah on Twitter at Sincerely Hannah for pointing this out. It's so rough. But she basically sent all of us a tweet saying, you didn't mention this part of the story that happened in 2003. And when I opened the article that she sent, I was flabbergasted. I mean, I was like, my jaw dropped. So basically, she sent me an article that one of the policemen who was right there, like the original team of rescuers for baby Jessica, Sergeant Andy Glasscock, in 2003, drugged and raped a 51-year-old woman, and they found child porn in his possession. So he's now in federal prison himself for 20 years. He's serving a concurrent sentence. It's a complete disaster story.
Wow.
And Jay and I both, because Jay, does like first round research for me. And he's like, I'm so sorry I didn't see anything like this. And I was like, dude, I read every article. I mean, I love this story. I read every single article. I saw nothing about this. And we were talking about probably because he was used to be a hero. Yeah. He's a cop. It's that kind of thing where no one wants to hear these stories after the fact.
Totally.
So thank you, Hannah, for sending that in. It's a true bummer, but I mean, it is a part of the story that should be told.
Yeah.
But now we go on to, this is another survival story. And I'm very excited that Jay found it and suggested it, because I was like, oh, that's one of my favorite ones of all time. This is the survival story of Juliane Koepcke. All right. So,
searching my memory banks.
It's, I don't think you'd recognize it from the name, but you will from this actual story. Okay. So we used, BBC.com, allthat'sinteresting.com, Vice, Wikipedia, history.com. But I watched, there's a Werner Herzog made-for-TV movie documentary about this woman's experience, and it's called Wings of Hope. Mm-hmm. And I watched it today. It's amazing. You can watch it. It's on YouTube. It's like an hour long, and it literally has an adult Juliane Koepcke walking through how she got through this experience and lived through it. And it's unbelievable. And the reason Werner Herzog made this documentary is because, so she basically survived a plane crash in the Amazon.
Oh,
and
yeah.
He was supposed to be on the plane.
No, I did not know that.
I didn't either. I didn't know any part of this. So he was basically down there. He was, I think I'd get into it actually later on, but I'll explain that.
Werner Herzog.
It's so nuts. And so it's amazing because this documentary basically, I'll give you the information that I learned in the documentary and also in those other articles, but you can completely go watch it for yourself and watch her tell you firsthand.
Amazing.
What happened. Okay. So, so it's Christmas Eve, 1971, and 17-year-old Juliane Koepcke and her mother Maria are waiting to board a Lanza flight, which is an airline that doesn't exist anymore for very good reason. A Lanza flight 508 from Lima, Peru to Pucallpa, Peru. Okay, so Juliane has just passed her final exams for high school, graduated from high school the night before at, forgive me for this pronunciation, Dutch Schule Lima Alexander von Humboldt. That's the name of the high school.
Easy.
And it's in Lima. So both of Juliane's parents, her mother Maria and her father Hans Wilhelm, are German biologists, and they live and work at their ecological research station in Puukolpa.
How incredible is their life?
Right? No, literally, she got to grow up, like they lived in Lima because both of the parents at first worked for a museum there, but then they got to like live their dream and basically we're going to go out into the jungle and study the animals and all the living creatures that are out there.
Incredible.
And so basically, and here's the story. So her father, Hans Wilhelm, he emigrated to Peru after World War II. He didn't even have a passport. He was broke. He had no money. So he's a young biologist, and all he wanted to do was study jungle life and animals in the jungle. So he stows away on a freighter. He hides in a cargo area that's filled with salt. And he basically gets to South America, gets off the ship, and then walks across the continent and gets himself to Peru.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Essentially, so her mother Maria is also a biologist. She had been in Lima. She was there on business, but then also her daughter was graduating from high school. And she actually wanted to fly back like on the 20th or the 21st. But then Juliane wanted to graduate with her classmates, and she wanted to go to the prom, which was right after. So they end up staying for all that, and then getting to the airport on Christmas Eve, 1971, to fly out. The plane is 7 hours late. And by the time Juliane and Maria board, everyone is angry. They're anxious to get home for Christmas.
Yeah.
There's all these people waiting, and there were supposed to be two flights. There's 508, and then there was the flight that was supposed to leave afterwards. So there was a bunch of people trying to get on 508.
Yeah.
Because they didn't want to have to, because they were so late at this point.
Totally.
They didn't want to get home Christmas Day. But, and so, Werner Herzog tells a story in Wings of Hope where he says he tried to bribe the counter person. He gave them $20 thinking they would get him on 508.
So he was supposed to be on the other flight. He's trying to get on 508.
He tries to get on 508 and he doesn't get on. Yeah. And so when the people, when everyone gets to board, all the people that are on the flight, cheer, and they're like, yeah, we did it. And basically hooray, we made it onto this flight.
Oy.
Even though weather conditions are turning bad, the crew is under so much pressure to stick to this flight schedule and get people home for the holidays that they decide to continue on and not cancel the flight.
Oy.
So yeah, Werner Herzog was there. He was supposed to be, he's filming a movie called The Wrath of God that's about Spanish conquistadors trying to find El Dorado, the lost city of gold in the jungle. And they show a clip in Wings of Hope, and that jungle is so dense and crazy. It's it looked like a complete nightmare. So while all the stuff's happening with Juliane in the story, you can just picture Werner Herzog is in the jungle 30 miles away shooting his movie. And shit.
He's just I just want to get on a plane.
So they board the flight. Juliane and Maria take their seats in the 19th row for what should only be about an hour-long flight, just to a little jumper to get to their hometown. And in Wings of Hope, Juliane says that her mom was sitting in the middle, she was at the window, and then there was a very large man that has the aisle seat who immediately falls asleep. So everything's smooth sailing for the first 25 minutes of the flight. And but Juliane can see, they can all see dark clouds outside that they've basically flown into a bunch of clouds. And soon the plane is surrounded, and then the turbulence starts. And it's pretty bad. Then a thunderstorm breaks out, and it gets worse and worse. And luggage it starts to fall from the overhead bins. Shit. Very scary. Christmas gifts, Christmas cakes, things are just falling out.
Fuck.
Yeah. The mother and daughter begin to hold hands. They try to remain calm as around them they can hear fellow passengers panic. Some start crying. 10 minutes later, Juliane sees a very bright light hit the engine outside the window, and she realizes the plane's just been struck by lightning.
No.
Mm-hmm. And in a calm voice, Maria says, "This is the end. It's all over."
Oh my God. Her mom says that to her?
Her mom says it. I mean, okay, so immediately the plane takes a nosedive. Cabin goes black. Everyone starts screaming. The luggage and all these packages that have fallen out now are flying around the cabin. And the sound of the failing engine is becoming this deafening roar.
Yeah.
And Juliane talks about it where that was like kind of like all she could hear. It like took over everything. And then suddenly it stops. And she realizes she's outside of the plane.
Oh my God.
Free falling in her seat. In their row of seats. They're falling.
Her seat got sucked out of the plane in midair. And
Like
she's just...
The plane broke apart.
Holy fuck.
So she, in Wings of Hope, she says, quote, "It wasn't that I had left the plane, but that the plane had left me."
Oh, that's good.
So she's still strapped to her seat and she falls 2 miles down to the jungle floor. And all she can hear is the sound of the wind as the canopy of the rainforest is spinning toward her and she loses consciousness. All right, so now we're going to go into a little history. Juliane Koepcke was born in Lima, Peru, to German parents, who I told you a little bit about, Maria and Hans Wilhelm, on October 10th, 1954. She's their only child. At the time, Maria and Hans Wilhelm both worked for the Museum of Natural History in Lima. But in 1968, when Juliane's 14, they leave Lima for the Amazon rainforest city of Pucallpa in eastern Peru. It sits on the banks of a tributary of the Amazon River. And there, a little bit into the jungle, they set up this research station. Basically, Juliane lives there and is homeschooled there. And the plan was that she was just going to finish high school, like being homeschooled at her parents' research station. And she is homeschooled there for 1.5 years. It's, of course, any child that's interested in animals and stuff like this, it's a dream life. She even has her own toucan. So, I mean, life is great. Fruit Loops everywhere. But then in 1970, the local school authorities find out that she's just out there being homeschooled. And they say, sorry, she has to go to normal high school to graduate. And because she wants to go on to college so she can study zoology and become a biologist like her parents, she does go back to Deutsche Schule Lima Alexander von Humboldt for her finals, which she passes. So she wants to graduate, go to the prom, whatever. Her mom hangs out and is like, "That's fine. I'll change the tickets." But the only available flight after Juliane's graduation and prom is on Christmas Eve on the airline Lanza. They, in this documentary, Wings of Hope, talks so much shit about this airline. At one point, it's like, do you remember Tower Air?
No.
Did you ever have to fly Tower Air?
No.
As a very broke comic in the 90s, it was rough. It was kind of like a cargo plane. There was I remember sitting in a middle seat in the middle section, and it was 15 seats across.
Oh yeah.
Crazy. Everybody was passing things. Most people had their own food.
Yeah.
I was so hungover that I just tried to sleep. And the lady sitting next to me kept waking me up for every beverage and food offering where I was like, "I don't want to.
Leave me alone.
Please, I'm dying." She'd be like, "Do you want a drink? Do you want some chips?" Anyway, basically, at one point in this documentary, Werner Herzog tells Juliane that he did research on Flight 508 and found out that the mechanics who worked on that plane had only ever worked on motorcycles before that.
Oh no, that's a very different machine.
It's a different machine. And also the pilots, speaking of which, the pilots were not licensed to fly commercial.
Oh no, that's not how you run a business.
It was bad news coming and going. And so, of course, Juliane's dad advises his wife against flying Lanza.
Oh.
They had recently had 2 crashes, in the previous months. But Maria wanted Juliane to have a normal high school experience. And she's like, it's worth it. So she books the flight anyway.
Oh, dear.
So that's how they got there. Okay, so when Juliane wakes up on the jungle floor, it's Christmas morning, it's early morning. She is underneath the row of seats that she was sitting in. Her mother is nowhere to be seen. the large man on the aisle seat. No, she's alone. There's some wreckage around her, but because the plane broke apart in the air, she's separated from the bulk of the crash site. So she just kind of calls out to her mother. No one answers. Now she can barely see.
Yeah.
So she wears glasses. Her glasses are gone. She's really nearsighted. Her left eye is swollen shut and her right eye is swollen so she can only open it like a sliver.
Oh my God.
Also, and now we're going to go through a list of injuries. So if you're squeamish, you're going to want to now listen to the podcast Dr. Death. Just kidding. So squeamish alert. Her collarbone is broken and it's sticking out of the right side of her clavicle area, which I think is a collarbone. Mm-hmm. She can't feel it though.
Okay.
She can't feel it. She just looks down and sees it and can't feel it. She also has a ruptured ligament in her knee. Can't feel that. She's in the documentary, it says she looked down and there was a cut on her calf that was so deep it wasn't bleeding.
Oh my God.
And that it reminded her of a canyon because of how it was like kind of broken, torn up at the top. Horrifying.
Oh.
She also has a really bad cut on the upper back part of her right arm, but she's alive miraculously.
Yeah.
So one of the theories of how it would be possible for her to survive falling 2 miles out of the sky strapped to a row of seats is that because of the severity of the thunderstorm, they were really strong updrafts. Like there's, it's like all about warm air and cold air or whatever. So there were really strong updrafts that were pushing against her fall.
Oh, so it slowed it down.
Slowing down like the force of gravity or whatever, or the gravitational pull, maybe, if it's right.
It was God.
It was the hand of the Lord that kind of scooped her up. Oh. But also she landed in a part of the forest, the jungle forest, where the trees were really close together and intertwined with these really thick vines, like all the way through. So they almost created like a little bit of a net as she fell. So she it softened, quote unquote, her landing, as they say.
It's like Lost meets Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah.
Right now.
Entirely. So she lucks out insanely. Like how could you not think I'm a miracle and my life is destiny after you survive something like this? She's under, like the seats are kind of folded over. So the back of the seat is like almost creating like a little tent like that. She's under it. Again, can't really see. She has a really bad concussion. So when she tries to even begin to stand up, she blacks out. So she spends actually the first day just trying to get up. And like, and like she's, for a while she crawls around on all fours because she's trying to find her mother. And everything is really difficult for her.
Yeah.
Also, she is wearing a sleeveless mini dress.
No.
Because it's 1970.
Yeah.
She's wearing a sleeveless mini dress. She was wearing sandals. She only has one on. So she lost one of her sandals. So and then she doesn't have her glasses. So she's having to stick her one still shoed foot out ahead of her. When she finally is able to stand and walk, she has to stick her foot out to make sure she doesn't trip like over a rock or, anything like that as she moves along. So in her mind, the first thing she needs to do is find her mom because she's convinced if she's alive, her mom must be too. Her and her mom were super, super close. And she kind of, in the documentary, she said she just kind of couldn't imagine being without her. So she called for her a bunch and tried to find her. She's finding little bits of wreckage here and there as she's moving around the jungle. She actually ends up finding a bag of candy and takes it with her. And it's her only food for a long time. She also, there was one of those Christmas cakes that fell out was also there too. But then when she took a bite of it, she realized it had just been sitting in mud. So it had like absorbed a bunch of dirt and mud. So then she threw it away. And of course, later on, deeply regretted having done that. So basically, she's, wanders for a while and then comes upon another row of seats. There are 3 bodies still strapped into this row of seats, but this row of seats the fall was not broken in any way, and it was driven 3 feet into the ground.
Holy shit.
From the impact of the fall. So she, with her concussion and her kind of weird thinking and trying to find her mom, she decides this is the first time she's ever seen a dead body. Obviously,
Sure.
This is insanely traumatic, but she gets this idea in her head of maybe this is one of these people is her mom, and so she ends up like getting a stick and taking a shoe off of one of the feet. And she sees that there's nail polish on the toenails, and her mom never put nail polish on her toes. So she knew it wasn't her mom. And that's when she realized she was totally alone in the jungle, that her mom was gone, and that she had to start thinking clearly and get herself out of there.
Wow.
And she basically is like, I know now I have to press on alone. Basically, she kind of wanders around for about 4 days, trying to find a direction. And the coolest thing was that the school authorities were very wrong about the benefit of her homeschooling.
Right.
Because she had all this like survival skills just from having to live in the jungle naturally.
Yeah.
So she's not scared of, like, when I first read this story, which was long ago, and with the Terry Jo story of Terry Jo, who was on the yacht and then went out to sea as a little child.
Yes.
I read a what's it called? Compilation. Books aren't called compilation.
Compilation. Sounds right. Short stories.
It's a true stories of survival, basically.
Okay.
And this story was thank you, Stephen. And anthology. God, thank God.
Thank God one of us went to college.
Stephen, do you want to be in our book club?
Heck yeah.
Okay, so this story was in that book with Terry Jo's story too. And I remember just going, if I didn't have one shoe and I was in the jungle with bugs and snakes and spiders and all, I would never stop screaming. I would just lose my mind.
Yeah.
But that's what she loved.
Yeah.
And she knew what was poisonous and she knew what wasn't. She knew how to survive just naturally. So none of that scared her. And also she says, whether it was the trauma of the experience or that it was like, she said she just had this she never felt fear. She also never felt hungry. She just had this kind of like, she was cut off and she was like, I just got to get to civilization.
Wow.
So basically she knew that if you get lost in the jungle, what you have to do is listen for water, because if you can find a source of water, you can follow the water, whatever direction the water is running, it runs to other water. That's apparently that's how water works. So as she wanders and wanders, she finally realizes one day that she's been listening to a sound that she didn't put together in her head. That was the sound of running water. And when she realized it, she was like, oh my God. So she followed it. She finds a natural spring with a little rivulet of water running out of it. And she just walks along the rivulet, and eventually that rivulet gets her to this little creek. And you can literally watch her do it. Werner Herzog went to the middle of the jungle, found the plane wreckage, found all these sites, and you watch her re-walk her way out of the jungle.
The plane wreckage is still there.
Still there 30 years later.
Because how are they going to get it out? And what for, right? Like they probably get the bodies out. And then
it's all grown over.
And they bring her back to it?
She agrees to go back and do it to show what she did.
Wow.
So you watch her walk through, like when the first, creek, quote unquote, is probably a foot wide. It's not, but then you see it just gets bigger and bigger and deeper and going downhill, the whole thing. And then she basically gets the little creek, and that joins her up to a bigger creek. And she knows that once she gets to a larger body of water that actually is like moving and has a current, if she follows that downstream, that will bring her to civilization. That's where you never go upstream. Just everybody write all these things down
on your hand.
You go downstream.
Yeah.
So she also knows, as she's doing this, she knows that walking in the water is less dangerous than walking through dense forest.
Oh, yeah.
So, and they talk a little bit about, she talks about, like, people always talk about piranhas.
Yeah.
She says this. She's standing in the middle of a river, a running river, and she's like, a lot of people would be scared by this. And I was like watching it, like my heart is racing. And she's like, but like people are always scared of piranhas. Piranhas are harmless in water with a current. Oh. It's when it's still water that they like go crazy. So she's like, she knows all the stuff.
She knows everything.
Parents.
Yeah.
She was the perfect 17-year-old to be to survive a plane crash in the forest. Yeah, she says more than snakes, tarantulas, even piranhas, the one thing to worry about in water like that are manta rays. They have poisonous stingrays in the water.
What? No.
Yeah. So she basically, when she finally gets to water that's like big enough where that's a concern, she finds a big old stick and she walks and then just pokes the ground in front of her as she's walking with one shoe again.
Oh my God. So she's like, get out of my, she's like making sure she's not going to stand on any.
Yes, exactly. And pokes them pokes the like ground in front of her. So she wades downstream. And as you know, so a couple days have gone by now, and she can hear the search planes, but she's still in enough overgrowth that she can't signal to them in any way.
Right.
And also the way this plane went down, because it broke up in the air. Yeah. There's no main crash site. Right. It literally, the jungle just swallowed the plane and all the different plane parts.
And even if there was, she's walked away from it at this point. So like they don't know where she is.
No. They're assuming everyone's dead. They can't see. Right. They can't see anything. It's just like this plane has disappeared. Wow. So they're kind of assuming, and it was one of the biggest search and rescue efforts in airborne search and rescue efforts in the history of Peru. Wow. But you know, after they search for like, I think it was 5 days, they give up because they can't even find where the plane went down. Wow. So they just have no idea. So as she's wading downstream, she can hear them and then she hears them go away. So she gets really mad because she thinks either they found everybody else and saved them and just not her, or just that they gave up on her. She doesn't know. But she again reminds herself, you just have to keep pushing forward. You just have to keep going. So meanwhile, everyone in Peru basically is waiting to hear any news of Flight 508 that basically just disappeared in a storm, including, of course, Hans Wilhelm, who is facing the horrible reality that both his wife and daughter have died in this plane crash. Yeah. Meanwhile, back in the rainforest, Juliane is alternating between wading in the shallower waters and then swimming in deeper parts of the water. And the days are really hot and humid, and then it'll start raining. Like it rains several times a day as she's trying to get out, but the rain is cold. So she said when it hit her, it felt like needles. Oh my God. And it happened a ton. But the good part was then she had lots of drinking water. So she theorizes that that's why she wasn't so hungry, is because she just constantly kept herself full by just constantly drinking water. Right. At night, of course, the air turns cold. Mosquitoes and bugs swarm her. And like, you know, she tries her best to keep them away. But they're everywhere. And she, at night to sleep, she gets out of the creek or the river, and she curls up on the riverbank, gets her back to the bank, and basically just tries to keep warm, even though she's soaking wet. God, and like
anything can come get you, any creature.
Yep. Yeah. Jesus. And there's creatures that have already gotten you. Right. Oh yeah, that's right.
Wait, what?
Get ready. I'll tell you.
Oh no.
So she has a watch on her wrist that was a gift from her grandmother. So for the first 4 days, she's using it to track time and track days passing. But on the 4th day, it stops. So after that, she just has to track it in her head. But she knows that's important too, just to know how many days have passed. And it's the rainy season, so there's not a lot of wild fruit that she can pick and eat. She doesn't have any tools. She can't hunt or fish. She knows that there's lots of plants that are poisonous, so she doesn't want to risk trying to eat something and making herself sick. She eats the candy until the candy's gone. Yeah. But again, she never felt hungry, she said, but she knew she was getting weaker because she was just walking nonstop. So on either the 5th or 6th day, she's not sure because the watch was broken. This stream that she's been in now opens up to a bigger river. And this is like, now she knows that she's getting closer. But at this point, her wounds have started to fester. And so it's harder for her to walk. So there's some days where she just floats down the river, and she does see crocodiles. No. And sometimes, And so she'll be floating down the river and look, and there'll be crocodiles. They'll see her and get in. And she said she was just apathetic. She was just like, well, whatever, and just kept floating. And they never attacked her. They never bit her, did anything.
Oh.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy? Because it's like, she's like, the stingrays are the only ones I have to worry about. And she
just chance.
She made it happen.
By pure chance. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, it really is. So here's the super disgusting trigger warning. By day 10, a wound in her upper right arm.
Oh dear.
It's filled with maggots.
No.
Yes.
No.
Sorry. Look, if you want to go on vacation in the jungle, you have to hear this shit, Georgia. It's real.
I've never wanted to do. Well, I'll do that.
It's so horrible that they're big. She looks down and she sees it. She knows it's bad. Because like it's kind of out of sight. And then when she looks back, can you imagine? You're just like, wow.
Yeah, that and the collarbone, I think, are the hardest parts for me so far.
So rough.
Yeah. I mean, for her too. It's really hard for me sitting.
The hardest is for you, and we know that. But she went through some stuff too.
I guess.
So she's also smart enough to know that that's terrible because she could get blood poisoning and she could get her arm amputated if she does survive. Right. So she knows like she has to find help and she has to keep up the pace. On the 10th day, she can barely stand.
10th fucking day.
On the 10th day.
10 days.
Which is, so she's, the search and rescue has been called off for almost a week, for 5 days.
God.
So she can barely stand. So she's still trying to make her way down the river. So she goes and she has to rest. So she goes and looks, there's a riverbank. She walks over to it. She sits down. She doesn't even know how long she was there. And she looks in front of her and realizes she's looking at a boat. There's a boat in front of her.
She must have been delirious by then.
And she had a major concussion.
Oh, right.
A major concussion the entire time. And yeah, she's delirious from starvation, delirious from, from maggots.
Everything. The plane crash she was in.
Yeah, the whole fucking thing. Yeah. So she kind of like comes to realizing there's a chance she's made it because she's looking at a boat, and she said she had to make sure she wasn't hallucinating. So she had to go up and touch it to make sure it was real because it was so unbelievable. It's really there. She looks on the boat. She looks around. She doesn't see any people. She considers stealing the boat, but she doesn't want to be a thief. Aww. So instead, she spots a path that's coming up from the riverbank and through the jungle. And so she says it takes her hours to climb up this riverbank because she said the riverbank was about 9 feet high.
Oh my God.
And she's so weak that it took her, she just had to try and try. And finally she crawled up this bank and she followed the path, and it led her to a little hut with a palm leaf roof, and she just gets inside and goes to sleep. And so she says when she's in there, she realizes you're starving to death. You have to eat something. And these frogs start coming around, but she recognizes that they're called I think they're called poison arrow frogs. And they're those frogs, they're poisonous, and they're the ones that the native people use to put their juices from the frog's belly onto the arrows tips so that when they shoot people, they like hallucinate and go crazy and they're poisonous and they die. Yes. So she knows that they're that poisonous, and she still tries to eat one anyway because she's like, she's on the verge.
Yeah.
But they keep hopping away from her. She said it was just, they would come and hop near her, and then she'd be like, man, I'll just eat this. And then they would hop away, and she couldn't catch any.
Dicks.
So the morning of January 4th, this is 11 days since the crash, she wakes up to the sound of voices outside this hut. And in the documentary, she says it sounded like the voices of angels.
Oh.
So she comes out of the hut and she sees 3 men standing there. She said they're all taken aback. She describes the moment like this, quote, "When they saw me, they were alarmed and stopped talking."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it the maggots?
Maggots just pouring out.
Oh!
She said they thought I was a kind of water goddess, a figure from a local legend who's a hybrid of a water dolphin, which I would imagine is just a dolphin. Because
you're not land dolphins.
Land dolphins.
Oh, that's a hippo.
That's skinless cats.
Skinless cats? Did you mean hairless cats?
I did mean hairless cats. Oh no.
It's late. Okay.
The cats have hair, no skin. The organs are right under the hair.
Oh God.
Guys, stop it. I'm trying to talk about maggots. Okay. Let's say that
dolphins.
It's a local legend. It's a hybrid of a dolphin. I think he meant a river dolphin.
Yeah.
And a blonde, white-skinned woman. So this was actually a real, and she's blonde. She's like a little German descent girl. But she has, of course, lived in Peru all her life. She introduces herself to the men in Spanish. She finds out they're local lumbermen, and she says what happened. So they bring her, they gather her up, and they bring her to put her on the boat. They go 11 hours in the boat to get her back to their village, to any kind of, they get her there. But in the meantime, they put gasoline in her wounds to kill the maggots and to basically like get,
a little triage going.
Yes, exactly. But with gasoline.
No.
And I'm sure she's like, who cares? It's fine.
Yeah.
I can't feel anything. So when the locals in their village, and when the men bring her to the village, the locals see her eyes are so red and bloodshot that all the locals recoil in fear, and they accuse the men of bringing a forest demon back to their village.
She's like, haven't I been through enough?
Yeah, really. It's like, sorry, you really look like a demon. Here's some Visine. These men convince a local pilot to fly Juliane to the hospital in Pucallpa. So in this documentary, I'm just talking you through this documentary. It's so good. She goes back and she meets the other two men have since died because it's been like 30 years. She goes and gets to meet one of her rescuers and say thank you to him. It's lovely. And also it's the cutest thing. Werner Herzog's such a good filmmaker. Yeah. Because when he first like comes upon like the group of people where she's like, coming to say hello, there's all these little kids around, of course, right? Yeah. It's just like village life, and the camera swings over to like these little kids, and then like two of them just walk away immediately, and there's this little girl who's probably like 8 and she's so cute, and she just stands there kind of smiling, and the camera just is on her, and then she just starts giggling, and she can't stop giggling, and it's so cute. It's just beautiful moments like that.
He's so good.
A day after her rescue, on January 5th, 1972, Juliane's father gets a call telling him his daughter has been found alive, and he goes to the hospital. They're finally reunited, and Juliane says that neither of them were able to speak. They just held each other. Oh, can you imagine?
No.
I mean, he thought they were gone.
Yeah, and everything she had been through, and it's like, it's over.
And that collarbone's still sticking out during the hug. For the next few days, So for the next few days, Hans Wilhelm watches the news just in case his wife is found alive too. Aww. And listen to this. When Juliane recovers, she joins in the search effort by leading the emergency responders back to the crash site to look for her mom.
What?
Yeah, she goes back in. But on January 12th, 1972, Maria's body is found, and there is evidence that suggests that she also may have survived the initial crash, but she was too injured to move or speak, and she died out there.
Oh my God.
Yeah. 91 people died in the crash of Lanza Flight 508, including all 6 crew members and 85 passengers. Juliane, who is the 86th passenger, was the lone survivor. And they start this documentary with this amazing kind of monument that they've built in I believe it's in Lima, Peru, for all the people who died in Flight 508. And some of the bodies are buried in this monument. Like when you go to see it, and it shows a map of where it crashed, and it shows a map of her trail out of the jungle.
Wow.
And that monument is called Wings of Hope. And that's why Werner Herzog titled his documentary that. Flight 508 was Lanza's last flight before the entire company was shut down.
Good.
Just 11 days after the incident. So pretty much immediately, their operating permit was revoked due to their, quote, intentional flight into hazardous weather conditions.
Also, these aren't motorcycles. Oh, shit.
Also 100 other things.
Yes.
Come on.
Yes.
After the media blitz settles down, Juliane returns to normal life. She moves to Germany and goes to the University of Kiel in 1980. And she studies biology and zoology. And she actually earns a doctorate.
Wow.
Yeah. And she ends up marrying another biologist and they move back to Peru. She's researching bats. He's researching wasps. That's a match made in heaven. He's in the documentary with her.
That's so cute.
It's so cute. In 1998, she participates in a documentary about the crash called Wings of Hope, directed by Werner Herzog. And in 2011, Juliane writes a book about her experiences with the crash and her survival entitled When I Fell from the Sky. Just such a good title.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you want to read that book immediately?
You straight up.
You full on fell from the sky.
Yeah.
And that is the unbelievable survival story of 17-year-old Juliane Koepcke, the sole survivor of Lanza Flight 508.
Oh my God. Dude, that's intense.
Dude, I love it.
The will to survive that she had to have.
Yeah.
To go that long.
Yeah.
Is incredible.
But I think everyone has it in them.
Yeah.
I really do. I do.
That's beautiful.
I do.
Yeah, you're right. Your faith in humanity is beautiful.
Well, but I think that's like, it's lizard brain stuff where you just keep fighting. Like,
yeah.
At that point, you'd have to.
That's true. It's like if
alone in the jungle.
Wait until you can't walk anymore. You might as well keep taking some steps.
Go.
And that is our philosophy about life, too.
It's like if you just have one sandal, then walk with that foot first and make sure you don't step on a snake with your bare foot.
Watch out for stingrays.
Careful. The stingrays will kill you.
That's right. Good job.
Thank you.
Should we do some fucking hoorays?
Let's do it. Okay, you want to go first?
Oh, sure. I'd love to.
I'd
love to. This is from Casa Di Cote on Instagram.
Okay.
My fucking hooray is, well, on our daily walk with masks on because it's the right thing to do and so people won't silently judge us like Georgia. It says that.
And Karen.
And we saw one of those heartwarming dog videos you see on social media, but in real life. An elderly woman's dog, I believe it was a border collie, walked down her front path to pick up her mail from the mailman. The dog took the mail, walked back up the steps and delivered the mail to her. It was amazing. We usually come home from these walks disappointed in humanity in general. And then it says all caps, why are there so many packs of teenagers on skateboards with no masks? Do they not have parents? That it was nice to see something so simple and kind. Love one another and be safe. Stephanie in Redondo Beach.
Nice, Stephanie.
I won't judge you. Thank you.
Okay. This one is from Lauren Michelle. It's Lauren Michelle. Oh. My fucking hooray is that today, on my brother's 36th birthday, we found out that his brain tumor shrunk. The past 9 months have been life-changing for my family. Watching my brother go through brain surgery, then chemo and radiation has been heart-wrenching and incredibly emotional for all of us. God.
Yeah.
But if anything, it has made our close family even closer. About a month ago, my brother donned his Michael Jordan jersey while ringing the bell after completing his treatment. And today, while wearing his Chicago Bulls starter jersey from 1998, we received the news that his tumor had shrunk. He's not completely out of the woods yet, but things are looking up. So fucking hooray for the best birthday gift. My brother, his twin. It was one brother's birthday and they got the good news about the other brother. I
got
it. So fucking hooray for the best birthday gift my brother, his twin, received this year. Fucking hooray for his amazingly supportive wife, who I'm honored to have for a sister-in-law. And fucking hooray for the Jordan era Chicago Bulls who have brought crazy luck to my family at this time. SSGGM and hug your siblings, Lauren.
Aww.
That's beautiful,
That's
Lauren.
beautiful.
Amazing. Yes.
This is from Jess Danielle, and it's not a fucking hooray. well, it is later, but it says, fun fact, I was named after baby Jessica. The story goes, my older sister was 3 years old, and after my family watched the story, she kept saying, they got baby Jessica out of the well. Now we need to get baby Jessica out of mom's tummy. And then there's one of those emojis of, thank God, because my father originally wanted me to be named Tranquillinia. And then there's an emoji of a hand slap to the face. But Jessica stuck thanks to my sister, who wouldn't stop calling me baby Jessica after that. Fucking hooray for big sisters who pick better names than my parents do. Tranquillinia.
What's wrong with Tranquillinia? It's so soothing and relaxing.
It is.
Okay, this is sent by MFM 007 Murderino.
Okay.
Oh, James Bond. Since March 16th, I have been at home with both kids 9 and 11 full time. So we've been doing new activities to keep ourselves busy while still at home. One of them is chalking up the driveway. At first, it was all of us. Being that the kids get bored easily, they left the art activity and I fell deeper into the activity.
Ooh.
And then in parentheses, better than doing laundry and dishes. Now I am a chalk legend of the neighborhood.
Yes.
I have created some easy ones. I had created some easy ones at first, but I have leveled up. I have a lot of neighbors looking forward to the new pieces. Also, I made a new friend while doing this. She is a true muralist. She's come over a couple of times and was extremely generous and made 2 art pieces. I wish I could upload the photos. She did it's just like, I wish I could, but I can't.
No, but yeah.
She did a realistic vulture and realistic butterfly. Oh. I have done a tree frog, a sea turtle hatching from an egg, and a funny shark bird. That's right, a bird with a shark's head. I saw a meme of it and I couldn't resist. Good thing about this art is every time it rains, I get a new canvas. Yay. Thank you, ladies, for what y'all are doing, and take care. We will be chalking it up even after this goddamn pandemic is over. Yours, Cheryl.
I love it.
So good.
Chalk.
Also, it's like you're forced into these things, and then it's like, yeah, that's awesome that you're doing chalk murals in your driveway.
Yeah, I bet it's like so stress relieving. Can you please do us a favor and do a a river dolphin? Please.
Please do a water dolphin a river dolphin, whatever
one
makes most sense to you.
My last one is from JC Nicole with 2 E's. My fucking hooray is that after 4 years of working full time and going to college full time, I finally paid off my car. I'm only 20 and I've learned responsibility the hard way. I have to remind myself that even amongst the chaos going on now, I am still capable of accomplishing things. Every week you and Karen remind me that even though we're in a pandemic, it's not a productivity contest. That's fucking
That's right.
I'm proud of myself and I'm proud of everyone who is making it through life right now.
Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this one is from Formaldehyde.
That's a good one.
So good. My fucking hooray is that I didn't do shit. I didn't leave my house for anything other than groceries. I didn't let my kids flout the common sense rules that are in place for everyone's safety. I stayed home, ate the same boring ass food that we've been eating for 8 goddamn weeks, watched every episode of Golden Girls for the millionth time, kicked my family's ass in Settlers of Catan and Rummy Cube. Oh, I fucking love Rummy Cube so much.
I forgot about that one. Yeah.
It's a good game. Survived the shit show that is e-learning for a 1st grader, a 6th grader, and a 10th grader.
Oh, honey.
Fuck, Mom. And most importantly, I didn't contribute to the spread of COVID-19. Stay sexy and stay the fuck at home. Formaldehyde, you win across the board.
And we want to say that stay at home and be safe is for the people who can't stay at home, for the essential workers who have to be at the grocery store, who have to be, the cops and the first responders and the hospital workers and all the people who cannot stay at home.
The people working at Domino's Pizza.
Totally.
They're
or the people who have to work at Instacart right now because they need the fucking money so they can pay for their families to live.
Yes.
Let's respect those people. And stay at home if we can. Exactly.
And please be like Formaldehyde and stay home and don't do shit.
And play gin rummy. If a mother of 3 young kids can fucking do it and like make it interesting,
do
Jesus,
it.
You can.
You can
Anyone
do it.
can.
We can all do it.
We love you guys. We hope we're helping during these crazy times, and we got your back. And thank you guys for listening to us and letting us still do this insane thing that we get to do.
Yes. Thank you for all your support.
Lucky. Yeah.
And it's, especially these days, it's such a fun thing to look forward to.
It is.
It's great. Thank you all so much. And stay sexy.
And don't get murdered. Goodbye. Mimi, do you want a cookie?
Okay, so this is pretty exciting. Apple TV Plus's new crime drama is called Defending Jacob, and it follows an assistant DA whose life is turned upside down when his son is accused of murder.
So the assistant DA is played by Chris Evans, and it also stars Michelle Dockery and Jaden Martell. Everyone is so good in it. It's a limited series, and they play a family whose fate hangs in the balance of the legal system.
Right, so Apple asked us to partner with them to create this special content to give our listeners a chance to put themselves in the Barber family's shoes.
That's right. And we were lucky enough to sit down with the show's screenwriter, Mark Bombach, as well as the director, Morton Tildum, they're both so talented. And we're going to have a little deeper dive into Defending Jacob. So enjoy.
Okay, we are very excited to be talking to screenwriter Mark Bombach and director Morton Tildum. They have their new show on Apple TV Plus. It's a crime drama called Defending Jacob. Congratulations, you guys. Thanks for talking to us today.
Our pleasure.
Our pleasure. Thank you so much for having us.
Aaron and Georgia, it's so nice to meet you. Like, I've been a murderino for like a while. Like,
No, really?
Yeah. In fact, while working on the show, because I live in New York, I used to drive home on the weekends, and very often your podcast would be the thing I listened to as I was driving home. So.
Oh my goodness.
So honored.
Yeah, thank you.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about how you guys got involved in this project?
Sure. This is Mark talking. So I was sent the book that this show is based on, really responded to it. And so I dove right in and wrote a pilot script and an outline of what I thought those first few episodes could be. And was talking with the producers, and we were talking about who might be a good director to bring in. And Morton's name came up, and I was overjoyed. I thought bringing his Scandinavian sensibility to this and his artistry would be a great fit.
I love making stories which is all about character, which are great. I don't believe in like people are inherently good or inherently evil. We're all kind of exist in this weird place in between, was like, where is our moral compass? What are we willing to do?
I think that's what makes this show so different, is that it's not a typical whodunit. It's kind of, it's got those little nuances where, you know, you think to yourself, what would I do in that situation? Not having kids, I'm like, turn them in, which of course wouldn't really happen. So what do you guys think this sets this apart from the typical whodunit? Is it the morality of it? Is it family?
It's very much about that parent-child relationship and putting that to a stress test. And, you know, oftentimes we live our lives with little fractures in our relationships, whether it's with our parents or with our spouse. And we can go a very long time that way. And then something like a crime occurs and really puts it to the test and suddenly starts to rip it all apart.
Well, and that is interesting because we all like to think that we are good people and moral people and that we would make the right decision, and how you would start rationalizing what you will do that's different than if it was a normal situation. You know what I mean? Like suddenly it's just like, yeah, I can see hiding that. I can see pretending you didn't know that. I can see, you know, getting rid of evidence or whatever because it's your family member. You guys got like an insanely stellar cast for this show. You know, Chris Evans, Michelle Dockery, Jaden Martell. So it's Captain America, Lady Mary, and the child hero from It. Like every person that walks on screen, you're like, whoa.
We went into this not thinking like, let's get the biggest name possible. We wanted who will be perfect for this. Who do we really would love that? And I think we also wanted to cast a little bit out of the box. And then it had to be Chris Evans, which we're now thinking after shooting with him, like it couldn't be anybody else. Yeah. Which is so perfect in the part. And Michelle came on, and we both love Michelle in of course Downton Abbey, but also Godless. where she has an American accent.
Amazing.
And really impressed us. And Jaden is just uncanny. He actually auditioned for the part, and when we saw it, it was just jumped out of it, and it was obvious that he has to be Jacob because he kind of has the hardest part. He has to add another layer on top of his performance because you're never really supposed to figure out what's actually going on inside of this character.
And I think also he has to add that layer of being a teenager and never fully answering your parents' questions with anything more than a nod. And he does that so well.
It's very fascinating to think about that part where I'm like, am I judging him because I don't like his personality? So I'm attributing like, yeah, absolutely. Or, or is that what's happened sometimes where it's these surface things that you're actually putting on somebody that could be completely innocent?
Right.
Yeah, that's the great thing about teenagers as suspects is that their behavior is very dubious. Like they're just, and so no matter what he says or does, especially in Jaden is just, as Morten was saying, uncannily gifted at being enigmatic in a way that feels very plausible and very appropriate for his age. And, that's the subjective fear we're trying to instill in the audience is that you're at the mercy his performance in the same way his parents are, where you're trying to determine, is this just normal, taciturn teenage talk, or is this someone feeling something?
Yeah, definitely. I think one thing everyone wants to know is, can you tell us one, negative thing about Chris Evans so we're not so in love with him?
Yeah, there's got to be
just
a downside.
One little.
You do almost look for a chink in the armor because he is really a great person inside, and he's blessed with these bizarrely good looks, and he's very humble about them. So it sounds totally like a cliche, but I really can't think of anything.
It's really hard.
Well, Mark and Morten, thank you guys so much for talking to us today. This has been so fun.
You have to follow @Apple TV on Instagram and Twitter to join the discussion about defending Jacob. Each week, they're going to post a crucial question about that week's episode so you can find out what you and other viewers would actually do in those situations.
And watch Defending Jacob on Apple TV Plus every Friday. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, you guys.
The best time to think about home security is before you need it.
That's exactly why they're Simply Safe.
Traditional home security only alerts you after a break-in has already happened, and that's too late. Simply Safe is changing that.
Simply Safe's US-based live agents identify threats on your property and help deter them so intruders never get to your house.
The system is customizable so you can build one that fits your home and your specific needs.
The 24/7 professional monitoring is effective and affordable and won't lock you into a long-term contract.
I think that's what's so scary for so many people is that long-term contract. And like, whatever turns out you don't like it or need it, but they don't have that because they know you'll like it and you'll know that you need it and feel so much safer when you have it. Like at this point in my life, I would never go without a security system on my house. I just feel safer with actually having Simply Safe around.
There's a whole staff at Simply Safe that's waiting to talk to you and help you out. Right now, you can get 50% off your new system by visiting simplysafe.com/MFM.
That's half off at simplysafe.com/MFM.
There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Goodbye.
Vacation planning should feel like a breeze, not a deep dive into countless travel sites searching for the best deal.
With Cheap Caribbean's Budget Beach Finder, you can search every destination and every date all in one search.
You'll save time and money with the Budget Beach Finder.
Say goodbye to endless scrolling and tab hopping and hello to Budget Beach Bliss at your fingertips.
Go to cheapcaribbean.com to try out the Budget Beach Finder and see just how stress-free vacation planning should be.
Goodbye.
He's dribbling the ball with everything on the line. He's driving down the pitch. He's facing price hikes and cuts past him. Carrier Contracts tries to block him. Oh, he leaves him in the dust. He's at the edge of the box. He cuts past the nonstop group chat trash talk. He clears on goal. He shoots. Goal! Unlimited data for $25 a month forever!
Visit your local Boost Mobile store today to get unlimited data with a price that never changes. Boost Mobile. After 30 GB, customers may experience lower speeds. Customers will pay $25 a month as long as they remain active on the Boost $25 unlimited plan.